Unit 5, Understanding Culture, the Nature of the Media and its Impact. Culture emerged and developed in association with man. The origin and development of culture is linked to the human relationship. The qualitative difference between human beings and other beings is culture. Culture is the difference between human beings and other beings. Culture is the distortion of the reality. When you change the form of the reality, that is culture. Culture doesn't act in accordance with the laws of the reality. Culture acts in accordance with the rules of culture and society. Man organizes his social and personal life. Culture can be regarded all values that are constructed and built by man. Here, value means principles or standards of behavior. When nature fell under the dominance of human attention and activities, culture was built. Culture is a continuous process. The word culture was derived from Latin word cultus. The basic meaning of culture is cultivation, restoration, and planting. This term was first used for agriculture by Marcus Porcius Cato. Later, Romans used it as an adjective such as culture of language, culture of behavior, and came closer to mean human culture. A Roman orator, philosopher, and statesman, Marcus Tullius Cicero, regarded philosophy as the culture of the spirit and the intellect. He said that philosophy has a cultural entity which could give fulfillment to man's intellectual and spiritual being. Word culture was first used as a concept in the 70th century. Samuel Pufendorf, a German lawyer, said that culture is a result of human handicraft. He said that culture is the effects of artificial activity. Topic: Various definitions of culture. The word culture was first made use in the field of humanities and social sciences by E.B. Tylor in 1861 in his book Primitive Culture. Culture or civilization is the complex sum total knowledge, beliefs, arts, laws, morals, customs, taboos, and man's habits and abilities that he has acquired as a person living in society, said by E.B. Tylor. The collective whole of equipment, consumer products, structural characteristics of different social groups, human concepts, crafts, beliefs, and customs go to make the culture, said by B. Malinowski in his book Scientific Theory of Culture in 1944. Culture is a complex process. Common values that bind the society, the beliefs, social activities, laws, and hypotheses are included in culture, said by Joseph Dominic in his book Dynamics of Mass Communication in 2010. Hypothesis means a supposition or proposed explanation made on the basis of limited evidence as a starting point for further investigation. By modern times, culture is identified as the opposite of uncivilized, barbarous, crude, unseen forces that cannot be controlled. Nowadays, people believe culture is being learned, educated, disciplined, consciously consumed. If you are completed with consciousness, education, etc., that is culture. Culture, media, and communication are an interconnected trinity. From the 80th century onwards, the term media was used to refer to mass communication in general. Historically, the term media was used to refer to the earliest mass media, newspaper. From the middle of the 19th century, the term media was used in the sense of exchange of information, exploration and multiplication, and transmission of messages with the association of postal and telegraphic services. From the beginning of the 20th century, media concept came to be make use of the newspapers as a mediator in commercial advertising. Society, culture, and the individual are intrinsically correlated in a manner that cannot be separated. Society, culture, and the individual have a mutual relationship or connection in a natural way. Society, culture, and the individual affect or depend on each other. The society or the individual cannot live without culture. The role of the culture in human life is important in the contemporary times also. The relationship among society, culture, individual, and the communication are inseparable and mutual. Society, culture, and the individual exist and function as a result of the social interaction. Society, culture, and the individual exist and function through communication. There is a complex relationship between the individual and the society. Society is not merely a collection of individuals. Society is also a complex system of interrelationships. Society is responsible for an individual's origin. Society is responsible for an individual's upbringing. Society is responsible for the way he is molded. Society is responsible for an individual's discipline and his qualities. Personal, ethnic, communal, national, and other social differences shape the society. In order to maintain such a society, it requires all other equipment, including culture. Other equipment of society are communication, art, religion, politics, painting, cinema, ideology, and propaganda. They are different aspects of the social system. They are the media through which the society is maintained. The relationship between the individual and the society should be regularly reproduced. Society is a complex system. Society is subject to constant dynamic evolution. That means society is always changing. The individual must be made familiar with the constantly changing conditions and situations of the society. The individual must be made adaptable to fit into those conditions. It is not merely an individual procedure, it is a conscious and an institutionalized process. School is such an institute. This process is socialization. Socialization means the adaptation of the individual to the constantly changing cultural conditions of society. Socialization means remolding the individual. This process of adapting occurs from the birth of an individual. A number of major institutions in the society are involved in this process. Family, school, religious institutions, political parties, various citizens' organizations, universities, and mass media can be cited as examples. The socialization process takes place at different times of a person's life, in varying ways and at different levels. The socialization process takes place at different times of a person's life, in varying ways and at different levels. The socialization process includes the lifestyle, behavior, psychological mechanisms, social norms, and values required to live a better and more successful life in society. The process of acquiring the general thinking and the consciousness is considered as socialization. Socialization occurs throughout one's life. However, special attention to socialization is focused during the initial stages of one's life. Special attention to socialization is focused during the initial stages of one's life, such as during infancy, childhood, teenage, etc. The agents of socialization associated with the initial stage in one's primary socialization process are the family, the nursery, the school, etc. These agents of socialization have a strong impact on shaping the future personality and vision of a person. Currently, the radio, television, and the new media also are included among these agents of socialization. In our next video, we will discuss about varieties of culture such as traditional culture, mass culture, classical culture, popular culture, media culture, and global culture.